It's time you forgave your parents. Hear me out. So, some of you have had amazing parents, right? Some of you have had great parents. Some of you have had non ideal parents. But guess what? We chose this. I know, it's crazy, right? We chose this. We chose our circumstances. We chose everything that we're going through, everything that we went through as ways to learn, ways to experience. Just, it's really hard to look at it in that sense if you went through a lot of trauma as a child. And most of us did. Most of us experienced some form of trauma, a lot more for others, obviously. Pretty much, if you think about it in this sense, okay, if it's really hard for you to grasp the concept of forgiving them. Now, forgiving them does not mean you have to have them in your life. You know, this is forgiveness for you. This is so you can stop harboring that hate and that pain, because that's going to manifest into something deeper if it hasn't already, into a physical symptom that you really probably don't want, unless this is part of your design destiny here. But regardless, think about everything that you yourself went through. Think about what you're going through right now. Think about how hard it is for you sometimes to cope on a day-to-day basis. How some days that you're doing great, and then other days not so much. How sometimes it may have been really difficult for you to let go and move past, maybe not even move past, but not follow in the footsteps of your parents, maybe. How it may have taken you a little bit to recognize the signs that you don't want to repeat in, maybe, you know, as you became a parent, or some of you chose not even to be parents because of what you went through. Or maybe you just are not that fond of children. Whatever the case may be, you have decided to break the cycle with you. Now think about sometimes how you get an overload of information, you get exhausted from work, there's a lot that you deal with, and it's hard for you to deal with other people. Sometimes you don't have the energy. Sometimes you lash out. Sometimes you don't control your emotions in the way that you need to, and you don't respond in the way that you should. Now think about what they went through, what they possibly went through. The traumas usually are passed down from generation to generation, and most people are stuck in the same cycle of following or repeating unknowingly what their parents did to them. Or they're like, oh, well, I'm okay. I grew up fine. I turned out okay, so it's okay. I'm going to keep doing this. It worked for me, but did it work for you? They don't see it that way. Or maybe it's easier for them to just hold on, which it usually is, because looking deep within yourself is not always easy. It takes time. Not everybody is willing to work on it. And we can't hold them accountable. Oh, we can hold them accountable, but we can't judge them for what they want and don't want to actually do. Because it's easier to point fingers, and it's easier to judge other people or reflect your traumas on other people than it is to work on what is inside of you. So just remember, when it comes to forgiving anybody, but especially your parents, especially one of the main causes of your upbringing, possible causes of any trauma that you have, because you're usually around your parents and your family more than anything. So just remember what they may have went through while they were trying to raise you. And most of them thought they were doing a good job. They were doing the best they could while they were trying to heal their own traumas or trying to deal with their own traumas. Maybe not even heal from them, they were just trying to cope. So just take that into consideration. And remember that you signed up for this for a reason. It may not be apparent to you. And they may not have known what they were doing to you. Just trust me and forgive. Like I said, they don't have to be in your life anymore if it was that bad. But usually what they did still stemmed from love. They still wanted the best for you. They still wanted you to succeed. And they probably still do. They probably still want you to know that they love you. They want you to do everything that you want to do. So my story on that, I'm going to make this quick because I'm already going on to 7 minutes, but I've talked about this before, but a situation with one of my parents is, he was pretty intense. He was pretty distant in the way of love, very disciplinary, but never really praising. I'm not going to go into too much detail here, but he was never, I'm not going to say never around, but he was gone a lot. He was a workaholic. And I resented him for years. I felt like he didn't love me for years. Till one day in my 30s, I went through a deep, dark night of the soul. It was intense for years. Like, I would say like half my life before I came to this realization. So in my 30s, probably like mid 30s, I decided, you know what? I'm going to show him love anyway. Even if he doesn't show me love, I'm going to show him love. I'm going to tell him I love him. I'm going to give him hugs. He's going to know that I love him regardless. That was the choice that I made. And I decided, whatever happened was in the past. And even if we don't build a great relationship, he's still going to know that I love him. And it's still going to make me feel better to know that I gave everything to this, Not like everything, like my life, but you know what I'm saying. So I started doing that, and he eventually, it was still really awkward, like, he's not really hugging me back, he's just telling me thank you, but then he eventually started saying, I love you back. Before he passed, he was very big on saying that, but he, when he was in the hospital and sick, he was telling us how, that's how his parents raised him, and he tried to, I guess make us into what he wanted us to be, but he realized that we were all different, and he couldn't do that. He basically apologized in his own way, you know, and it made sense. But also me digging into everything when it comes to astrology and human design, and even just the information and the downloads that I get from the universe, because I'm a very loving person. I want to give love. Everybody deserves love. I want to express this love and share this love with the world. I want people to know that they're loved. I'm a very open and kind person, as far as I know. I mean, I have my days, but I had realized that he was what I needed to become this person that I am. I don't know if I would have been very adamant about love and kindness and expressing that openly to people if it wasn't for the situation and the relationship with him when I was younger, because I didn't receive the love that I had wanted from him. I chased it for a while and then realized, no, the love is inside of me, and I'm going to make sure that people, what is the word I'm looking for? People can feel it for themselves. They're going to, just being around me, you're going to feel the love, because I'm going to make sure that my heart center is open, and I am going to make sure that you feel loved when you're around me. No matter whatever you're dealing with, you're going to feel love. But then also, I'm here to teach that love to others. Not my love. It's the universal love, the love that is inside of you, the divine love that you are, that you were birthed at. But also, the fact that he was a workaholic, whenever I dug into my astrology, my birth natal chart, I dug in and found out that, if you believe in past life stuff, that I was a workaholic in a past life. And I was not, I guess, really, I did not give my time to my family. I gave my time to my work. I just was all about work and success. And so again, you turn that around, I needed to know what that felt like. I needed to be on the other end of that spectrum. Everything goes together, everything. You just have to look at everything as a lesson. Like, there's always a sign, there's always a lesson in every single thing, everything. You have to pay attention. And sometimes you're not even going to see it immediately, but the more you do it, the easier it's going to be, right? And you start writing, like, what's going on here? Why do I feel this way? Why did this happen this way? Sometimes it helps to write things down and question it that way. But your answer is always going to come to you. But your parents deserve forgiveness. Like I said, you don't have to go and tell them you forgive them. You just got to. You just have to release that from your heart. And if you choose to be around them again, you're going to look at them in a different light because you actually forgave them. And your relationship is going to change. It may not be immediate, but it's going to be gradual. Just little bits at a time. It may take them a minute to open up, and that's okay. You cannot have an expectation of other people. they're not going to live up to it. And it's not their responsibility to live up to it. They live in a completely different reality than you. Completely different. But everybody is worthy of forgiveness. And you, yourself, are worthy of that release. It is time that you love yourself again, and it is time that you forgive yourself and others. It is the key. You can't hold grudges. You can't hold pain in your heart. You can't hold on to anger. I promise you. There is a metaphysical symptom for everything that you are dealing with. If you got a pain in your shoulder, there's something causing that. You're holding on to something. That's a whole other video. Forgive them. Let it go. You deserve it. And it's going to raise you up just a little bit more. You're going to have more love in your heart. And that's going to express out in the world. The world is going to experience and feel the vibration. And is going to affect so many other people. Everything is love, guys. Everything is love.